This is Justin West from Podcast Portugal. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome once again to Jason Swan. He is our Golden Visa expert, and he's going to be clearing up some more questions and some more issues surrounding the Golden Visa. Jason, very good morning to you.
Hey, Justin, how you doing?
Great. How was baby Max?
Baby Max is very good. He's much bigger than last time we spoke. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
he's running around yet, or sort of crawling still?
Not quite. He's rolling around, although he seems to be taking a bit of a break from the rolling over the past few weeks. But
maybe the heat.
He's rolling. He's sitting up by himself now. He's eating proper food. So
brilliant.
So yeah, it's great. He's doing very well. He's a very happy baby. Very content. He likes traveling as well. We went to Spain last week. Was over in Malaga, and just quite enjoys the drive. 5-hour drive is watches the world go by.
That's brilliant. My team was the same actually. He never sick in a car. Absolutely loved it. Was very happy. Would snooze. Would wake up, look out the window. Yeah, it's nice to have that because for sure. Because you had a road trip. I don't know if you went with the family, but you just returned from the US as well, didn't you?
Yes, that was last month, and we was with the family, and we started up in San Francisco, and we did a few event dates. The first Golden Visa on tour, tour.
Brilliant.
That's the thing. So we did a few different tour dates, and started in San Francisco. We headed down towards where we hit Monterey, California, San Diego, and over to Washington, D.C.
Fantastic.
To finish. So, it was a nice trip. We're glad to be back in Portugal.
Fantastic. And what was the sort of vibe from the guys that you met there, from the people attending the road trip? From the U.S. standpoint, what is becoming, or what is so attractive about Portugal in the U.S. at the moment? Because it does seem there is a lot of interest from the USA.
Most immigrants are coming from the US at the moment, and I think for various reasons. Obviously, Portugal, in my very biased opinion, is the best country in the world to live. But it's not just Portugal. I think it's also a demand to head to Europe for various reasons. The cost of living, standard of living. Portugal offers some unique benefits, obviously things like the healthcare system and the education system, but overall there's just general frustration, really, like in most countries it feels at the moment. But there's frustration in the US, and the people I'm speaking to are generally just thinking about the future. What does the future hold? Will they be in the US? Is it good to have a backup option? But yes, the whole world feels a little bit unrest.
Yeah.
At the moment, Justin, it's a lot going on, I suppose. Same in the UK, same in the Middle East. We speak to people all over the world, but the US in particular does continue to be where the biggest demand is for Portugal and for Europe at the moment.
Yeah, I think from a sense that I get from interviewing people on Podcast Portugal, it does seem that there is a lot of people looking for a little bit more of a quality of life, as opposed to sort of being manically trying to make bills, to make money, they sort of want to spend a bit more time with their family, have a little bit better quality life. But possibly they don't need to have so many luxuries in life, but they would like to have the luxury of time. And I think Portugal, particularly, has that. Has the image anyway of people enjoying the time that they have, and there's a lot of low cost things that you can do here. Going to the beach for one. Around us, we have all these fantastic lakes that the local municipality just decides to make a beach next to a lake, and parking and umbrellas, and it's just open to the public for free. And I think you can find it even in the Algarve. I was reading the other day about a swimming pool. A big natural swimming pool that you can just go to. It's, you don't have to pay. It's just, I think people find that quite surprising. I do, certainly.
You could refer to that as the sea, really, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. And we're surrounded by it nearly on all sides. It is. Yeah, because, I was actually saying something to somebody the other day, because I used to live in Cornwall, so when the summertime came around, it was very difficult to find parking at any beach access point, and for sure you would have to pay quite a lot of money to park there for the day. It was a kind of way that farmers used to earn a little bit of money from their fields. They used to open it up to pay parking next to the beach. But in Portugal, it's very hard to find a beach where you need to park. To pay. Perhaps in Carcavelos in Lisbon or something, you might need to pay for parking to access the beach, but otherwise, it's fantastic. So let's get to some nitty gritty. I have a few questions, and based on a little bit of research I've just done recently, and there is sort of reports that I'm reading that there is still often a little bit of confusion about residency status in Portugal. Jason, can you explain the differences between the temporary residency, permanent residency, EU long-term resident status, and citizenship?
Yes. So kind of starting at the top, so temporary residency is kind of the first stepping stone, really. So when you apply for rights to reside in Portugal, you will apply for some form of temporary residence card. The most popular are the likes of the D7, the D8, the Golden Visa, and all of them differ in ways of how they are granted to people in different situations. But ultimately, a temporary residence will allow you to enjoy the country. You can live here, you can access the healthcare, you can study in Portugal, and things like this. And the card will typically last for 2 years. The initial visa card will last for 2 years. And as long as you don't pick up any criminal records or find yourself in any trouble, then the idea is that you can renew the visa. And whether, regardless of the visa that you have, you'll continue to renew that temporary visa status. However, after 5 years have passed, again, as long as you've stayed out of trouble and you continue to follow the rules or the requirements of the visa that you have, you can apply for a permanent status, which is a permanent residency card, at which point you don't need to then continue to renew the visa every 2 years. So once you have permanent residency, it kind of does what it says on the tin, Justin. You have permanent rights to reside in Portugal. Not a lot else changes, really. You still have all the same benefits as what you had with a temporary visa. It's just that you now have that permanent status in Portugal. One common. Oh, sorry, go on, Justin.
Yeah, so can I quickly ask a question there? Permanent residency. When you get the card, I think it's commonly known as residencia, right? When you get the card, does that expire? Do you have to renew that card, or is that basically sort of that's it? You have that card and you stay with it for as long as you want to reside in Portugal?
They do formally. I mean, you have to get a kind of like when your passport expires, you have to get a new card after 5 years. But it's not an application process as it's not kind of an assessment, if you like, as you find at the renewals.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very very. It's more of an administrative process, if you like, when you do the extension. But also at that same time, something that's come up in conversation more frequently now is the other point you mentioned, Justin, about the EU long-term residency status. So it's not really been something that's been talked about a lot in previous years, because until the recent law changes, naturally you could apply for a passport after 5 years. One of the big advantages of a passport is that you can then extend those rights to live not just in Portugal, but to then any European country. Very similar to what I could do before Brexit, really. Coming from the UK.
Yeah.
But of course, that's changed now. So passports, you can apply for a passport after 10 years. But after 5 years, again, you have the option of permanent residency, and also the option to apply for what is called a a European, an EU recognized status of a long-term European resident after 5 years. And with that, Justin, you can then apply to move to other European countries as well. But it's
So
important.
but
Sorry.
you and I are both on the residence here, the permanent residency card. So that
Yeah.
means we can apply for an EU long-term resident status. I didn't know that. If that's correct.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
that's brilliant. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Correct. Yeah. Well, there you go. You learned something new.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's the idea. And of course, previously we never would have spoken about it because the natural evolution is to apply for the passport. But yeah, so that's, I mean, that's sort of something that's always been around. It's always, well, it's not always, but for a very long time, it's been something that's available, and is a potential path for Portuguese residents that want to move to another European country. If there is such crazy people, Justin, to want to leave Portugal,
Well,
but
some people might need to for work. You never know. We have to work sometime.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I always
awesome.
wondered because I'd often drive across the border, and I'm thinking, okay, so I'm on a UK passport. I don't have a Portuguese passport, so I'm not part of the EU. Am I supposed to get a visa stamp, to go to Spain or to go to Switzerland or something? Because
Mhm.
last time I flew from Portugal to Switzerland, I literally just walked through, and I was like, "Where's the passport control?" I just literally walked through and ended up in the taxi rank. I was like, "What's going on here?" I was like, yeah, of course it's the EU, isn't it?" Because of course you can't do that any longer from Lisbon to the UK. You have to go through all sorts of
So
passport
have to go
controls
in. You
and
have to go in your own queue now. You have to
yeah,
go.
yeah,
You have to go in the long queue.
yeah.
But yeah, it's true, and of course we have the luxury, Justin, of being able to travel within Europe without the need for a visa. We can stay in any European country for up to 3 months at a time, um, and it's that remains that's not changed, and it's more for again for those that want to spend more time in another country or want to move full time to another EU country, then that's where that long term status may
Brilliant.
be useful.
And where do you
So
apply for
yeah.
that? How do you? Is it a EU thing, or is it something you do through somewhere in Portugal?
It is an EU recognised status, just but it starts in the country where you live. So the best protocol is always to speak with your attorney,
Hmm.
and they'll take you through the process to do that. And of course, for those that don't have an ongoing attorney, they can get in touch, and we'll be happy to assist.
Brilliant. Excellent. That's good to know. I'm going to have to look at that, I think, just in case. You never know. Um, and
And the citizenship, Justin, is the last point is, of course, the passport.
yeah,
So
and that's
you
of
can apply
course
for that.
what many of
Yeah.
your clients are looking at in terms of the Golden Visa and investment pathway.
For many, yes. The golden visa, as with any all visa types, could lead towards citizenship. It doesn't have to be specifically the golden visa, but the big difference with the golden visa is that you don't have to live in Portugal.
Okay.
You don't have to be tax resident here in order to progress to permanent residency and citizenship. So it's more designed for people that don't want to move here full time, but are maybe thinking about a plan B or a retirement plan for the future without the commitment to kind of move full time
Mm.
right now.
Yeah, and what is the I think we spoke about this before. It's a sort of minimum of 2 weeks that they have to spend in Portugal once a year, right?
Yeah, it's the worst part of the deal,
Yeah,
Justin. But
yeah.
you gotta force yourself to
To go on
Portugal.
holiday for 2 weeks.
Yeah, at least 2 weeks every 2 years
Oh,
is
okay.
the minimum.
All right.
So never a bad thing to spend a little more time than that, but that's the minimum, the 2 weeks every 2 years, and that will be fine.
Brilliant, brilliant. And sort of then, what rights and benefits does permanent residency provide that many investors may not fully understand?
Well, permanent residency doesn't grant any additional benefits from the temporary residency. It gives you exactly the same rights because throughout the process you have really all the benefits of being a Portuguese citizen, apart from you cannot vote and you cannot run for president. But other than
Shame.
that, the healthcare, the education, the rights to live up to 365 days a year here are all in place with the temporary visa status right throughout the permanent status. The only difference, Justin, is that as you get to that permanent status, you don't have to then continue to renew every 2 years. Um, and for those that have invested for the Golden Visa, you don't have to stay invested either. So as soon as you have that permanent status, you can withdraw the capital and then continue, with that status in Portugal. So yeah, but all in all, the benefits are the same with the temporary or the permanent status.
Yeah. So I mean, I think also you can't vote on a national scale, but if for those people that are interested in politics and particularly local politics, if you want to have some kind of say in your camera or your municipality, you can vote locally. I believe if you're on a, I think maybe I need to check that. Maybe I'll leave that in the notes. But I think you can drop a vote for your local mayor or your local I'm not even sure what office it's called, but the local politician, you can vote, I think, as a resident. I think. I check. I think we should check
You have
that.
to check that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how interested people are in actually voting, but it's important for some people to have a say in what's happening locally around them. Yeah, possibly. Definitely, I'm going to check up on that one. I haven't, though. I haven't voted locally. Have you?
No, I've not. I've not. It's yeah, I should do, but I haven't. Justin.
I have met my mayor. But I haven't. But I haven't voted for him, so not yet. Anyway, yeah, it's a question, isn't it? But some people really do like to get involved in, and I think for local politics, and I believe in local politics. National politics sometimes can be probably a little bit beyond our sphere of influence, but local politics, I think you really can make an impact if you are unhappy about something, or you're very happy about something and want to make sure it continues. So you just get involved, or maybe perhaps people listening to this, if they don't know, maybe just go and ask at your local camera. Can I vote? Can I do something? Can I be involved locally with what's going on? It's nice to try to integrate, possibly. Anyway, let's get back on track. I'm always going off on sidetracks, so here we go. For the Golden Visa investors, what is the typical pathway from initial residency to permanent residency?
The pathway is, yeah, as we've kind of covered there, just into the initial visa application to allow enough time to get your kind of a bank account set up, collect all the documents, complete an investment, and submit the visa application to the immigration office of AIMA. Generally, we target around 8 to 12 weeks in total. And then following that point, it is then a case of waiting for the biometrics appointment in Portugal, which can vary in time, but I'd say the average over the past year or so now has been around 6 months from the date of application to the biometrics appointment, which is the only time that investors are required physically in Portugal as far as the application is concerned. Just and then once the biometrics is done, thereafter the next step is then to receive the visa card, and it's at that point, of course, you have that temporary 2-year visa then up until the first renewal a couple of years down the line.
Okay, and then in terms of investment, you have to be invested in a fund for how many years is it for the Golden Visa?
Well, best practice is to stay invested until you have permanent status.
Okay.
Because up until that point, you'll need to renew the visa if you want to maintain those rights to Portugal. And in order to renew a visa, you have to demonstrate that you have remained invested during that time. So A good timeline to have for the investment is at least 6 years,
Okay.
which allows you, 5 years to apply for permanent residency, and then it gives you a window of 12 months as well. But of course, there can be delays just in as well during the process, and I tend to um, guide investors to ensure that whatever investment that they choose, that they have, plenty of time to remain invested until they are confident everything is finished, and of course, they no longer need to do any more renewals.
Yeah. Okay. And so there's been many headlines and opinions. There's always rumors of surrounding the Portuguese Golden Visa for whatever reason. What is the realities of the program today?
The realities of the program. In what context, Justin? What what
Well, what
what are you
what it,
thinking?
you know what it there's been sort of things like a particular start date. So if you're going for the citizenship route, when does your 5 years on actually start? Is it in terms of when you receive a card, or is it when you make the application, or is it when you sort of start paying into the fund?
Sure.
Um, that's
Well,
that's
previously it was the timeline to a permanent residency application. First of all, was 5 years from the application date of the
that's
visa.
yeah.
It is now 5 years from the point of the visa being issued. Okay, and the same for the passport as well. So after 10 years, that will be 10 years from when the visa was issued.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah, that that's
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 what
the
that
point I
about.
was trying to clear up. That was the thing I had in my head. I was trying to remember what
No
it was.
problem.
And sort of what type what type of investors are currently most attracted to Portugal, do you think? Is it the sort of retirees, or is it young up and coming tech investors, or what do you see?
Um, as a gym, I mean, I've assisted on probably over 600 applications
Well,
now, Justin, and there's not a one size fits all, but if I was to generalize, the majority of applications are for people maybe thinking of retirement or in retirement within the next 10 years, say. Um, and those that are not necessarily set or decided on the future, really. The key difference, as I mentioned before, with the Golden Visa is it's not a decision to move to Portugal. It's very much just a decision to move money from one investment to another. The reward of which is then the option to move into Europe at a later date.
yeah, yeah,
So it's not, for example, if you're going for like the D7 or the D8, these are full time residency visas suitable for people that are moving now, and I know they're going to live here full time for years to come. But the Golden Visa, yeah, it's very much a reward from the government for bringing money into the economy, and it grants that
yeah.
flexibility, if you like. So, and it's the only country that offers that flexibility as well. We've seen other Golden Visa programs close over the past year or two, um, and Portugal now, well, it continues to be the number one choice for Europe or people coming into Europe. But yeah, it's not kind of a decision set on Portugal. It's those who just want some extra flexibility, are fortunate enough to have the capital available to invest as well. Typically, there's not too many people in their 20s and 30s just in that have €500,000
Hmm.
available to invest. So I think that plays a part in the age group as well. Um, but um, but yeah, that's the average age group. No
Makes sense.
discrimination on male or female. It's about a 50-50 split,
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
also same-sex couples as well, Justin, is
Yeah.
is very common as well. So one thing I speak a lot about is with clients that are worried about things in the US and political disputes and things like this. So um, good number of applications from same-sex couples as well.
Wow. I mean, it seems to make sense, right? You not only have the lifestyle benefits of Portugal or Europe, you have international mobility. Everybody, there seems to be, you can work anywhere now, so you don't need to be restricted to a country. Wealth diversification, I guess, as well. Like, it can be a little bit frightening or a little bit uncertain in the US at the moment, or in many other parts of the world. I know that I have friends in Dubai at the moment who are a little bit concerned about what's going on in the Gulf there.
Mhm.
Family planning, I guess, as well. It's like, where would be a good life for my children? I think it's like a combination of these
Yeah.
factors, and it seems to make sense to have a backup plan. In a world that's uncertain, let's have a backup plan with a country which is fairly moderate. It's fairly not, it doesn't, it's not extreme in many ways in either way, either direction. It's not extreme left. It's not extreme right. It's not, yeah, it
Yeah, and I
makes
think
sense.
often it feels more complicated than it is as well, Justin. And I often, when I'm speaking to investors, I'm explaining the simplicity of sometimes that all that's happening is that you're moving capital from one investment pot to another. Portuguese investment funds,
With a silver
in
lining,
many
a
ways.
golden lining.
Well, yeah, potentially, and they're depending on the investor's appetite for risk, they may choose to have more in the stock markets or less to their preferences. But if you look at the Portuguese stock market over recent years, I mean, over the past 12 months, it's done over 20%. If you
Okay,
go back over the
fantastic.
past few years, it's been a very exciting place to be invested. If we look at again, in my opinion, the future of Portugal, we're seeing immigration at an all-time high. 30 million people landed in Portugal for the first time in its history in
Yeah,
2025. Property prices have doubled since 2017, and there's more immigration and investment coming into Portugal than ever before. So I personally think the future is very bright, and of course, like I said, the big reward of investing in Portugal is that flexibility and the rights to come and go as you
yeah.
please, really.
Seems to make sense on many fronts. Fantastic. So, I mean, how does Portugal? We talked a little bit about that. You said the Golden Visa. Portugal is the remaining country that's offering this type of accessibility to country. But is there other European residency options out there? And I mean, are they just more difficult or what?
Um, there are other residency programs, yes. They're all very different.
Hmm,
And the part that unique about Portugal, of course, Portugal remains to be a path to citizenship with that flexibility of not having to live in Portugal, which is the big kind of USP for the Portugal program. But there are other residency programs. So if you wanted to live in Italy, for example, Italy has a program where again you can potentially apply for citizenship after 10 years. However, the requirement is that you have to live in Italy for at least 5 of those years. Malta has an investment program as well, whereas you can have rights to reside in Portugal. Sorry, rights to reside in Malta.
yeah,
But the citizenship program, the path to passports, was closed last year through Malta. The Spain program closed last year as well. Again, Spain used to have a golden visa program, but again, that finished now. So yeah, it still remains all eyes on Portugal. Of course, the program still has its frustrations. Processing time can still be very slow. But Portugal does seem to be adapting to the demand much better than they were over recent years. So we've seen the application timeline significantly reduce over the past 12 months, which is good. But there is still a big demand. There's still a lot of processing that the government is trying to cope with.
yeah. So your advice is to people just to get it started, get the process started, really, and get in contact with you And, if you're studying about it, you're thinking about it, you might as well just sort of think about it whilst you're already starting to enact the process if somebody who's a little bit impatient or if you have some particular time restriction. But it's possible to now really sort of start the process. Why not? Why not?
Well, and more not necessarily start the process, of course. I mean, there's a lot to consider first of all, but if it's something that sounds interesting, Justin, I host a monthly live webinar, which is a little more detailed and actually on the screen as well. So actually walk through. It's literally called everything that you need to know
Brilliant.
about the Golden Visa. But of course, you're very welcome to invite questions, or if people would like to request a one-to-one meeting, then yeah, of course, happy to oblige.
Fantastic. I mean, I think that's the important thing, isn't it? Is just to start gathering information. Even do like a reconnaissance. Come visit Portugal. Come spend 2 weeks, or make the most of a little bit of a long-term tourist visa, and come check a few different areas out. Don't always look for Porto or Lisbon or the Algarve. There's many other areas of Portugal which are growing in interest, and it's like anywhere. There's doors open for you if you just sort of look and you take that path. Yeah, it is a beautiful country, and I'm still discovering it 15 years later.
You never get bored of it, do you,
Yeah,
Justin? You never get bored of it. I know I always say this, I sound like a mascot for Portugal, but I do genuinely love living here. I mean, I've been here now for 5 years. I lived in Malaga in Spain for 5 years before I came here, and been fortunate enough to travel quite a lot around the world. But Portugal, yeah, it has a bit of everything. I'm down in the south where it's typically a little bit warmer,
yeah,
but um,
yeah.
but yeah, you're not going to go far wrong, I don't think, no matter where you end up, I
Yeah,
suppose. From my
actually, and that's a point. You said you're a little bit further south because it's warmer. It's certainly more mild in the winters. But if you are of the disposition where you don't particularly like I'm dying at the moment in the heat here in Alentejo the last couple of days, it's been really crazy, like 43 or something. But
Right.
there is so many areas. If you go a little bit, so from me, if I go 30 minutes or 40 minutes towards the coast, it's much cooler. It drops nearly by half.
Mhm.
If you go a little bit further north, you might have that more greenery, a little bit more rain. There is almost like a climate for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, of course, more inland you go, the less of a breeze there is, and the more it heats up. But and I'm right down in the south, right, not too far from the beach, so it's nice. It's good. Still got a bit of a breeze,
Yeah,
compared to inland. But
brilliant.
but yeah, it's like you say, Justin, great to get over, check it out. I ended up settling somewhere completely different to where I thought when I first came over to Portugal.
Okay.
And certainly before, you think about, I often say as well, when you buy a house in Portugal, be aware that you pay a lot of taxes at the point of purchase with a property, and you want to be sure that before you kind of set the anchor down and commit to where you want to live, to check it all out, make sure it is your favorite part of the country. Renting somewhere for a little while is not a bad thing to do if you're moving over full time and really kind of finding your feet. But
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
very hard.
that's
It's
that's
very hard
my
to decide. That could be the problem. You could end up like me. I must have lived in maybe 6 different places when I first moved here.
wow,
I
okay.
owned a little house in 2 different places and rented a place up in the north as well at the same time. So I really couldn't make any decisions. But yeah, and of course circumstances change when you have a family. Then decisions need to be made.
Well,
But,
yeah, as I'm starting to find out, because when we bought our forever home, Justin, we wasn't really thinking about schools at the time. So,
yeah, we have a 38-minute drive to school, so
oh wow,
yeah,
okay.
that makes the school run interesting. But it also means that some days we're like, pull a sickie, my team. Let's go to the beach. Well, perhaps I should say that on air. But there's plenty of else. But his school is lovely. They go somewhere every week. They go on some school trip, so it's fantastic. Yeah,
Very good.
but
Yeah, I'll
schooling
be.
is generally good around in the Algarve. There's plenty of international schools down there, or local schools are very good. Have you got something
Yeah.
earmarked for Max?
Not just yet, no, but it's very quickly going to be coming onto the radar. It's very, very difficult for preschool. It's very, very difficult to find anywhere with availability. There is
Yeah.
such a demand for preschool and childcare overall, and in the Algarve, it's be a great business opportunity for someone, but yeah, it's proving very difficult to find both, good education and availability. So I'll keep you posted on that one. Maybe
it's a good
maybe
seminar.
on the episodes next year, Justin, I'll have a bit of an update on childcare.
Yeah, fantastic.
Education.
No, it's great to follow that story. I think real life stories for people and real life questions, and I think people find it really like you mentioned before on your seminars, you go through a lot of these things, the nitty gritty, I always like to call it. The questions that perhaps people won't even imagine to ask, like schooling and childcare, and maybe I could set up a business in childcare in the Algarve. It's certainly a possibility, and the market is here. So
Indeed.
I'm going to leave a link in the show notes to your seminars, and I'll also leave a link to your what's the best contact number again for you? Is it should I leave the Calendly thing so that the people can have the potential for a call, a booking, and also the link to the seminar? Would that still be appropriate?
Yeah, few things. Just I'll send over, if you don't already have it. Actually, I'll send a link for people to register for the webinar, which is on the 15th of July. I'll be covering literally everything that you need to know about Portugal's Golden Visa. There's a chance to ask questions live as well, and otherwise, if you've already been kind of doing some study, if you'd like to just get more into detail and receive more personalised information. Then yes, there'll be a booking link in the video description, and you can check the calendar for some time to speak. Otherwise, if as always, Justin, if any listeners want to submit questions for our update next month, I'm happy to of course join and field those as well.
Yeah, people just send me your questions via emails that you would like to ask Jason, and perhaps I have a few already, but maybe we'll save them for the next episode and go through them. Jason, once again, fantastic, all really good information, and always a pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Always a pleasure. I shall hopefully next time we speak, I'll have a slightly better tan because I'm still white.
Yeah,
not that you can see on the podcast.
No, exactly. Luckily, you can see that I'm sunburnt. I look like a beef, as the Portuguese will say, sort of an over-easy steak on a barbecue. But only because I've been sort of outside watering the garden in this heat, So anyway, thank you, Jason.
Yeah, no problem, Justin. I'll speak to you soon.
This is Justin West from Podcast Portugal with our special Golden Visa episodes. Signing out.
6 feet under the rock, I'm gonna dig a hole and hide on my magazines. All the spots are not obscene. I just need some time, some focusing. I got the pen, I got the sheet, I got my plan, I got my screen. Someone tell me, please, there is a need to stop playing Baldur's Gate 3. 1, 2, 3, we're living on a rock, living on a rock, living on a roller coaster. 365 per year, living on a round, in a muffin shop. I need to concentrate, stop the strain of thoughts, or I will be crashing on a couch. Won't have much to grouch about. Walking past another conductor makes me wanna build a fusion reactor. Starting just with the basic switch, connecting poles and energy. Mom says focus on geography, on the things I can learn with that machine. I need some fuel, I need a monster now. I'm the last and come the cloud. Won't you go start